Hey, I'm Loot Drop. Welcome to the Hey, I'm Harry. Welcome to the Loot Drop.
Goldeneye's coming out on Switch!
Goldeneye's coming out on Game Pass! What's Goldeneye?
Hey, I'm Harry and welcome to the Loot Drop. I hope you like announcements because there's been a bunch of them. Nintendo just announced a million cool things, so let's just speed through them. Now, Breath of the Wild 2 is not called Breath of the Wild 2, it's called Tears of the Kingdom and it looks beautiful. Link floats down on a stone glider and rises up using what looks like a new Sheikah Slate ability without the Sheikah Slate. Let's hope that Tears of the Kingdom can run on my Nintendo of the Switch because it's 5 of the years old now. Or maybe Tears of the Kingdom will release alongside a Nintendo of the Switch Pro. And if it does, I'll be empty of the wallet. Anyway, it's coming out 12th of May 2023. The latest Fire Emblem is called Fire Emblem Engage and Martha's in it. The protagonist Aaliyah is kind of like all the other Fire Emblem protagonists, so obviously they're gonna have amnesia and wake up in a strange world, but they have 2 different hair and eye colors. The key feature of Engage is that you can equip these rings that contain allies that you can use to attack simultaneously or do this cool special fusion attack. Anyway, the rings are worn on the left ring finger and the game's called Fire Emblem Engage, so I reckon everyone's gonna get married and have a honeymoon at a medieval castle, and I can't wait! Kirby's Return to Dreamland on the Wii is coming to the Switch, it's being remade! On top of 4-player local co-op and all the fan favorite copy abilities from the original, it'll also have a new copy ability, Mecha. 4-player co-op looks super fun and you can play as 4 different colored Kirbys or as King Dedede, Meta Knight, or Waddle Dee. Pikmin 4 has been announced and it's coming in 2023. Miyamoto couldn't show us any juicy gameplay, but it did tell us that you'll be able to play from the Pikmin's perspective near the ground. Pikmin's perspective off the ground's cool. They should make more games like this more often. Anyway, It Takes Two and Sifu are coming to the Switch. And yes, they've got a bit of a graphical downgrade, but now they're getting a portability upgrade. I beat them both sitting on my couch, so I can't wait to see if I can beat them standing on the train. Nintendo Switch Sports is adding golf in a free update later this year, and the Bayonetta 3 trailer showed us very little, but the main enemies are bioweapons called homunculi. Also, Goldeneye is coming to Nintendo Switch Online! So not only is the classic Nintendo 64 Goldeneye coming to the Switch, but you'll also be able to play online with your friends. Sorry to cross-pollinate, but Goldeneye is also coming to Xbox Game Pass! Woo! How good's nostalgia, right? It's even better than I remembered. You thought Nintendo was the only one with news? No. Sony's PlayStation State of Play announced a bunch of cool games like a Korean game. Stellar Blade is a hack and slash action game with a robot man yuck meat enemies, and did I mention it's Korean? Sorry, it's just I've never seen a Korean game featured in a big publisher's showcase before, and it's PS5 exclusive. So proud. Tekken 8 got its first real-time kinda gameplay trailer. The fight in the rain between Jin and Kazuya looked absolutely bonkers. You know how Street Fighter focuses on charging up Hadoukens and stuff? Well, I like how Tekken instead focuses on complex family dynamics. I hope you like feudal Japan! Team Ninja's Rise of the Ronin is an open-world action RPG set in the late 19th century, so there's swords and guns. Okay, it looks extremely Assassin's Creed-y with gliders and hoods and birds. And did I mention guns? The combat looks very similar to Neo, which isn't a bad thing. In fact, I'd argue it's a good thing. A remaster of the PS3 Yakuza spin-off Like a Dragon Ishin was also announced. If you've never played a Yakuza game, you should correct that as soon as possible. They're absolutely insane soap opera dramas packed with incredibly meaty beat-em-up combat and silly one-liners. Like a Dragon Ishin was only ever released in Japan, so this is a remaster I can endorse. My pick of the showcase was Pacific Drive, which is a first-person driving game with extreme Ghostbusters vibes. It kind of reminded me of that movie Twister, but the spooky version, so it's just driving around chasing spooky ghost storms. And if I ever need any help, I know who I'm gonna call. PSVR 2 also got a look in with Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge and DeMeo. Demio. How do you say it? The former is a VR adventure game set in Batuu. Conveniently, Galaxy's Edge is also what the Disneyland Star Wars land is called. Demio is a tabletop combat game that's been available on the PC for a little while. It's not clear if the PSVR2 version will be the same, but hopefully it'll bring across the miniature painting and social aspects of the original. I just want to sit around a table and paint miniatures with my mates, but not in real life. Finally, God of War Ragnarok is fast approaching, and I legitimately yelled when Atreus shot an arrow that split the sky in half. Hell yes. Also, fighting two Valkyries at once? They're like the hardest enemies in the first one, and now they're just ganging up? Honestly, when I saw that bald silhouette in the doorway, I thought Kratos was gonna put the beat down on Buddha. That probably won't happen. Maybe. Wouldn't that be sick? It'd be so good. Also, PlayStation Stars has like collectible 3D digital figurines. Hey, Astro's Playroom already did that, so like whatever. EA and Koei Tecmo have teamed up to make the next greatest hunting game. Now, we don't know much about it except that it's AAA, it's a hunting game, and it's set in a fantasy feudal Japan. Why is it always feudal Japan? Why can't it be feudal Korea?
Barely news. Speaking of AAA, Ubisoft are upping the price of their AAA games. Wait, really? Skull and Bones will be around $70 in the US, up from $60. So safe bet that this will be around the $120 mark here in Australia. And get used to it, because Ubi CEO has said that this new pricing structure will apply to all their AAA games going forward, even those set in feudal Japan. It's barely news! During the D23 Disney Showcase, they revealed a Nintendo Switch exclusive Mickey Mouse 2D platformer called Illusion Island. Magic hands. It's a co-op 4-player and you can play as Mickey, Minnie, Donald and Goofy. The art style is straight out of the new Mickey Mouse cartoon, so if you're a Rubber Hose Cuphead animation fan, then this might be your cup of mouse-flavored tea. That's barely news. It's news to me. The head of Halo Studio, 343 Industries Bonnie Ross, is leaving the studio.
It's barely news. Disney's resurrecting the Sega game Gargoyles and remastering it for PC and consoles with all new visuals and controls. That's some good nostalgia.
It's barely news. A new trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet showed off some new trainers and Pokemon who were a little bit too cool for school. Armarouge, exclusive to Scarlet, is a fire/psychic Pokemon with an arm cannon. And Ceruledge, exclusive to Violet, is a fire/ghost Pokemon with dual blades for arms. They're Digimon! They're Mega Man! I mean, forget Welcome to the Gun Show! Welcome to the Blade Show!
It's barely news.
Dan asked us to high five and we're not good at it.
That's the loot drop. Coming out this week is Return to Monkey Island on the PC and Switch, Beacon Pines on Xbox, PC and Switch, and Slime Rancher 2 on Xbox. So what are the standout games for you out of all these announcements? Let me know in the comments and we'll have a good old yarn. Bye! So like, Buddha will have 3 phases, right? You delete the first health bar, Mahabanya scriptures come out, yeah?
Sick, like enlightenment phase?
Yeah, and you can't damage Buddha at all, but he's like, boom, I'm a vegetarian, but I'm violent. Then the tree, right, Siddhartha style, the tree underneath, and then he like closes his eyes. 3rd phase, boom, 3rd eye.
I feel like we should be making games.